Hi guys, I'm back with another insert today, and before we get started looking in it, I have to show you this cover because I am super proud of it. I created this with a whole bunch of Nuvo drops, which, you know, are not my favorite thing, but I was doing some practicing and decided to practice on this cover, and it's actually held up really well. I didn't think that it would hold up this well. There are some that have cracked, but none of them have actually peeled off, so I think that's really good. The other thing to note with this insert is I do have an elastic band on it to keep it shut, because it does help, I think, keeping them flat. Like, it's still quite a bulky notebook, but it doesn't sit as bulky because it's had that band around it. And the other thing to note is I had to stitch this notebook because it burst its seams on like the last page. So rather than have all the pages fall apart, I just grab a big needle and some embroidery thread and put a few stitches through it just to make sure that the book will never fall apart, even when it is this big. It doesn't happen every time. I think it's because I was opening and closing it so much, and probably being too rough with it, to be honest, but I feel better knowing that it's stitched and isn't going to fall apart. So again, this is another notebook that I started a reasonable time ago on the 16th of July, and again, much like my last walkthrough, which I'll post a link to up here, winter just isn't a big creative time for me. I don't feel particularly inclined to come and sit in here in the cold and create. I mostly just want to hibernate and sit by the fire and read, so that tends to be where my time goes to instead of in here. But finally finished at the start of October, so let's have a look through. This was a page for Kelly stamps, and I used one of the digital stamps to create a cut file and cut that with my silhouette out of vellum. So I love the way it hides the pages, and you do still get a peek through it, but not as much. This must have been a page from September, I think, and it was like my my month of full page photos. I really love how simple it is to put a page together like this with a full page photo and just a bit of pattern paper. I added, I was going to say a whole bunch of stickers, but I'm pretty sure this is the entire sheet of floral stickers from the Willow Lane collection. I just stuck them all down, 3 little clusters, and then added my journaling. So it was a super simple page to put together, and I just really love the colours. It's really bright and pretty and just my sort of thing. This was definitely a mood board challenge from quite a while ago now, I'm gonna say. The before and after of little Lily and her haircut, and I still really love the simplicity of this page. So pretty with these gold leaves. I mean, no notebook of mine would be complete without a full page sequin shaker pocket, would it really? And this was a beautiful Willow Lane mix that the sequinologist put together for me, which made this page super easy, really. I just created this sort of quilt-like pattern. I'm pretty sure there's a process video for this one. This was just a really simple page I did with a citrus twist kit. Again, just adding a piece of pattern paper, my photo, and then I did a bunch of stamping with one of the star stamps that they had. I think it was an add-on stamp, and then added a few little stickers and a title. So a super easy page to make. I just created this grid of photos in, I think it's called Pick Frame, the app I use on my phone. So I didn't even use Photoshop for this one, just stuck them all in Pick Frame and printed it out. So this paperclip actually belongs on this page, and Alice sent me some happy mail, the sequinologist. So of course the first thing I did was rip it all apart and put it into a page in my notebook here. So I did actually put a photo of the sequins that she sent, but then the rest of this is all just fabulous packaging from the parcel that she sent me. Definitely a process video for this, and this is the middle of the book, so you can see the stitching here. I tried to pick a thread that sort of matched this page since I knew that this would be the one that you would be able to see it in, but it's reasonably subtle and I don't think that it distracts from the page too much. This page was, I'm sure there's a process video for this too, but this was using one of my cut files from the Stamp Spot, one of my favorite cut files I think, and made a cut file sandwich to put into my pocket page notebook. So all the cut files at the Stamp Spot are sized to fit into your traveler's notebook or pocket page notebook, and these ones are perfect for these double-sided pockets. I was using up the last of my October Citrus Twist kits. This is the Pocket Life kit and one of the add-on stamps. A really easy page, and I tell you what, it took me so long. I kept trying to add to it, and really in the end I kept it simple and I love it so much more. So for a really simple page, this took me an incredibly long time to put together because I kept second guessing myself about it being too simple. And I guess the reality to that is there's no such thing as too simple so long as you are getting the stories and the photos documented. There was definitely a process video for this half of the page anyway. I will link that up here. And again, another sequin page from the Sequinologist. This was my hashtag in Traveler's Notebook Truth Challenge. So this was the truth about me. And then on the other side, it's very hard to see this very light blue stamping here. I knew I would have to fill in the other side of this page because I had fused up this pocket before I had put anything in there. So really simply, I glued down a journaling card and added a couple of epoxy stickers, did some stamping, added my photo and a title, and it was just a really easy way to put together the page. And I don't mind that you can see the other page through it. I sort of picked these colors to match this page. It kind of ends up looking a little bit more sort of junk journal-y, I guess, than two separate spreads, but I don't mind the look of it. Definitely a process video for this one, showing how you can use those free cut files without a silhouette machine. There are plenty of options for that. One other one that Mel Davis had reminded me about was to print them as outlines, and then use them as for colouring. So I actually did that in another notebook. In this one here, I had printed out the coffee cup here and then just watercolored that in. So if you're going to do that option, make sure that you print on a laser printer because it needs to be permanent to be able to do colouring with it, but that worked very nicely. This again, I sat down to do the same day as the other page back here, the simple one for Citrus Twist. I did this at the same time, and once I worked out that simple was working for me, this one came together much easier. It's just two bits of pattern paper. I tore a strip down here, added a title, some journaling, and a few puffy stickers and called it done, and that was definitely much easier. And actually this page was as well too. I think this was the last page I had to do in this book, so I don't normally add wood veneer to a page of my traveler's notebook, but because it was the last page, I wasn't going to need to work over top of it anymore, so I went with it. And again, just using pattern paper, a few stamps, and a few simple embellishments. And this is the last page in this book because, again, I don't do the backs of pages, but I used the Arial Alpha from Feed Your Craft to stamp out a donut quote to add to my donut photo. And I really love this font. It's so different to any other ones, that big, fat font. I thought that it worked perfectly with donuts as a subject. So that is another insert all done. I do have another one on the go, and hopefully it will not take me as long as it has to finish these ones. So hopefully I'll be back soon with another walkthrough. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!